Hello. In this video, I am going to write an essay in response to my own prompt. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and let's see how far into it I get. All right, so this is my essay 2 prompt for this semester. If the text is too tiny to read, the central question I have to answer to myself is what, if anything, should or could schools and colleges do to help students with their mental health? When talking about a problem or when doing an argumentative essay of this sort, this is what we call a classical argument essay. See my previous video on that very thing. Couple of things. Doing a background paragraph is always a good idea, giving a lay of the land. Then a paragraph looking at the proposed solution that I'm going to put forth. And then finally, a third paragraph as to why I think that is it. Now, that's just going to be for my argument section. So let's go ahead and get this all set up in Google Docs. So let me open up a new document. All right, so we're going to do this in real time. As of this recording right now, it is 3:02 p.m. So let's go ahead and get my paper set up. Times New Roman, 12-inch font. Let's do my header. I'm going to insert header page numbers at the top, line to the right, last name, and then my page number, highlight it. Times New Roman, 12-inch font, cool. Double space it, do my name, Koger, my professor name. I'm going to say it's Professor Okamoto. This is English 101. And I'm going to pretend that the due date is today. So that is 29th of February, 2024. Essay 1, let me zoom in a little bit so that it's actually visible on your screen. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my subheadings. Because this is going to help me organize what I have to do. So I have to do 1,200 to 1,400 words. I know my introduction is going to be approximately 150 words. I know my conclusion is going to be 150 words. So that's 300 words. So 900 words minimum remaining. So if I'm planning 3 paragraphs in my argument section, that is likely going to be approximately 500 words, but I'm going to go ahead and give myself 600 words, 2, 2, and 2 for each paragraph. Rebuttal section, we'll go ahead and give it a nice robust 300. There we go. So again, referring back, what, if anything, should or could schools and colleges do to help students with their mental health? I'm going to put, and let me highlight this so I know to remove this later so I don't leave these. These are just suggestions. I might do more for each section. Here we go. So for my thesis statement, I'm going to focus primarily on colleges. What do I think colleges could do to help students with their mental health? In order to help college students thrive socially and academically, colleges and universities, that's just me being pedantic, colleges and universities should provide students with mental health services. All right, cool. And I'm going to leave that aligned to the left. I like to get my thesis statement down, and then I'm going to start in on the argument section of my paper. So things I know here, I don't need to highlight on anymore. My background paragraph is going to be the struggles of a college student. I'm going to use my Gen Z and mental health article. So I will open that up. This is my English 101 textbook. I'm going to use the, where is it? The Mertry piece, a stunning level of disconnection article. That's not what I wanted to do. Mertry. Jumping ahead of myself. I'm just going to have this open on a separate tab. Okay, back to this. Right. Struggles of a college student. So I'll do the Annie E. Casey Foundation, the Mercury article, then my proposed solution. This might actually end up being more than 600 words. Mental health services. So what do I mean by mental health services? I'm talking about licensed therapists. I'm talking about a dedicated space, licensed therapists, in addition to academic counselors and a dedicated space. So this will be description of a functioning therapy space. Yeah. Potential effects. In my thesis statement, I mentioned to help students thrive socially and academically. So social effects, reduced anxiety. I'm just going to leave that for now. Academic effects, greater participation in classes. Maybe this is actually where I'll bring back the McMurtry piece again, Mercury article. Cool. Okay, I have my thesis statement, rough outline of the argument section, my rebuttal section. The obvious rebuttal or counter argument to go with is cost, money, space. Rebuttal, students are already paying exorbitant tuition costs. A better investment in their mental health should provide a better return on their investment. College. And then maybe for my solution. Oh, and actually another counter argument. Why not academic counselors? What about professors? Rebuttal. Neither trained to be mental health experts, but they can certainly help. We need to increase awareness of resources on campus, right? The conclusion, not totally going to worry about for now, but I'm going to float the idea of a trial run or pilot. Yeah, there we go. All right. Cool. 8 minutes in, I have an outline. I have a working thesis statement. Cool. Let's do the background paragraph. Struggles of a college student. The current generation of college students, I'm going to rephrase that. No, yeah, I'll keep that. College students. I just start over. Most college students today are classified as Generation Z. These are students who were born. I need a source for Gen Z students, so Generation Z dates, 1997 to 2012. All right, and this, I'll double check this source later. Title of this page is Generations defined by name, birth year, and ages in 24. So, this do say 2, excuse me. There we go. Were born between 1997 and 2012. This is according to generations defined by name. Article with no author attributed. So because of when these students grew up, these students were immersed almost from birth in mediated environments. They had ready access to the internet that was further accelerated by the proliferation and ubiquity of smartphones. Right, tea break. Gen Z mental health. 45% of Gen Zers, that's not the one I want. I want technology. Growing up in a hyper-connected world can evoke intense feelings of isolation and loneliness in some youth. That is exactly the quote I want to use. Copy that. Here we go. According to an article from the Annie E. Casey Foundation. Why is this underlined? Ignore. Growing up in a hyper-connected world can evoke intense feelings of isolation and loneliness in some youth. Then we have our article title, Generation Z and Mental Health. As a result, so I have my quote. Now I need to contextualize it. As a result of spending so much time on social media and playing video or computer games, despite being connected, many Gen Z students are expressing feelings of isolation and loneliness. The hyper-competitive world of high school and university admissions can exacerbate this very issue. Let's see, how many words is this? This is 134 words. I need like about 30-ish more words, so maybe a couple more sentences here. The hyper-competitive world of high school and university admissions can exacerbate this very issue. Many high school students can be enrolled in anywhere from 6 to 8 classes and be on campus all day. In addition, they may also be involved in extracurricular activities, exempla gratis, clubs, sports, band. Some students, especially low-income students, may also have to work part-time jobs to help supplement their family's income or to pay their own bills. Great. Cool. This is looking like it. All right. Yeah, I'm going to delete that. I haven't talked about the struggles of a college student yet because I've primarily been talking about high school students. So I need to make that the transition then in my next paragraph. So this is my background paragraph. I'm going to delete that. Cool. When these high school students come to college, whether it is a private university or a community college, these students are carrying over their anxieties and stressors that were developed in high school, period. Then I'm going to integrate the McMurtry piece. This deals primarily with the aftermath of COVID. So I'm just going to try and see, or maybe I'll just paraphrase this. Okay, cool. Yeah. Currently, many college students were in high school, or even, let's see, it's 2024. COVID was in 2020 through 2022. So yeah, they wouldn't have been in junior high. So I'll delete that. Many college students were in high school during COVID, which means they did all of their learning online for a period of time. If we combining the existential dread of living in a pandemic along with the stressors mentioned above, comma, when these, I've already said when these high school students come to college, I'm going to say stepping onto a college campus for the first time can be yet another stressor. So here, maybe I'll bring in McMurtry. Despite the potential excitement of starting college, comma, many professors describe their students. Many professors describe their students. So I don't need that. Describe their students using words like defeated, changing these because this is an internal quote, exhausted, and overwhelmed. And this is retreat. Cool. That in the same font, Times New Roman. Cool. All right, cool. And we don't need that period then. All right. When these high school students come to college, whether it is a private university or a community college, these students are carrying over their anxieties and stressors that were developed in high school. I'm going to qualify that claim and say that may have been developed in high school. Currently, many college students were in high school during COVID, which means they did all their learning online for a period of time, combining the existential dread of living in a pandemic along with the stressors mentioned above. Stepping onto a college campus for the first time can be yet another stressor. Despite the potential excitement of starting college, many professors describe their students using words like defeated, exhausted, and overwhelmed. As a result, this can potentially impact their academic and social lives while they are in college, period. All right, so let's get to the proposed solution, mental health services and in a dedicated space. So how am I doing with this word count so far? I have a feeling I'm already almost over 600 words. This is probably like 400 words already. 300 words. Okay, cool. 319. Do I have a while? No. All right. So while many, I got 10 minutes left for what I want to do in this video. All right. So while many colleges provide ample services and outreach efforts, comma, one vital service that could help college students is therapy, period. Yeah. Having licensed therapists on campus, in addition to academic counselors, can help provide students with the mental health services that they need. Cool. Understanding that the cost of mental health services may be out of reach for many students, comma, especially low income students. Having these services covered by their tuition may make more students, like that, may make students more inclined to take advantage of them, period. Ooh, maybe in the counter argument about cost, money, space, another potential rebuttal is could be, while some colleges may be concerned about the cost of hiring multiple licensed therapists, comma, a potential solution for this could be hiring one or two licensed therapists who then supervise a staff of graduate students who are working on obtaining their licenses, right? The perennial bandwagon of underpaying graduate students. Great, fantastic. All right, back to this, feeling pretty good. I've talked about this, licensed therapists in addition to academic counselors, so I'm going ahead and delete that. Having a dedicated space, so I need to talk about that. In addition to the potential burden of costs, comma, another barrier that many people experience when trying to locate mental health services is trying to find a therapist who understands their unique needs and has availability. By having a dedicated space on campus, comma, students would not have to look far for a therapist. Also, having the therapist campus and being in a college environment, they can be more sensitive to the unique needs of college students. All right, and maybe a few sentences describing the space. Calming, relaxing. The therapy office would be a calm sanctuary for many students, and the office could even provide group counseling sessions, meditation services, comma, or even just a quiet place for students to de-stress and gather themselves. All right. Now I'm definitely, okay, cool. I can delete that. Cool. How are we doing? I think maybe now at this point I might go back to the intro. We are at 500 words. Okay, yeah, so I'm doing pretty good. I need to talk about, before I go back to the intro, I've got 4 minutes. All right, I at least get one section done. Social effects, reduced anxiety, academic effects, greater participation in classes. Yeah, I think I might just kind of pause here just to kind of talk about my strategy overall. All right. So this is in some ways exactly how I write papers, and in other ways it is very different. I mean, when I normally write a paper, I don't write it this quickly. This was just purely for I don't know, show and tell purposes. But what I like to do, especially if I'm writing a paper in APA format, I treat the APA format as an outline. This is not an APA format, but it is using a particular style, classical argument. But regardless of whether I'm doing a paper in MLA or APA, I like to get my thesis down first, and then that gives me an idea of what to cover in, the body of my essay. So I've already got 2 references. I've got 3 references so far, and the max I gave myself was three sources, excuse me. So I'll probably reference the Gen Z and mental health article some more. So I like to get my thesis statement down, go from there. Once I have an idea of what I'm doing in the argument section and in the rebuttal section of my paper, I then will go back and do my introduction. The whole point of an introduction is to introduce what is in my essay. But how can I introduce what's in my essay until I've actually written the essay, right? I am a big fan of outlining, so this is a kind of outline. So I know, when I come back for my next writing session, I might work on this part just to kind of polish off the argument section. The rebuttals is already looking pretty fleshed out. Some of these sentences are actually going to remain. I mean, just that alone is already a third of what I've allocated. By the way, the reason why I do this is it lets me plan out my essay. So that way it's not, if I'm writing 1,200 words, that way I'm not running out of space. I'm trying to allocate my words wisely. All right. Hopefully this helped. That was fun. I will include a link here. So obviously with the video, but then I'll also include a link to the essay itself in case anyone wants to take a look at it. All right. So again, I hope this was helpful for you all. If you have questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, please feel free to drop me a message. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next video.